Yeah, I mean, obviously, a very respectable side. Gotham played very well today, and I think when we then look at us, we're not pleased with our performance. I also think that now going back to the drawing board as quick as possible in the sense of what we clip and how we recap this match is incredibly important from a mentality standpoint, but also from a performance standpoint. We have a very quick turnaround. We go on the road for a very good chunk of time. So right now it's going to be the learnings, but how quickly we can turn those learnings into obviously progression for us as a group. So.
For large sections of the first half, Gotham had 75% of the possession. How do you account for them having so much of the ball?
Yeah, and I think for us, obviously, like I said, we're not pleased with the overall performance, right? Going in at half, we spoke very briefly on the ideas of once we feel like we have traps and traps have occurred wide, can we continue to keep them out in those moments? You can't knock the effort, the ideas, what we're trying to do, what's going on here. And so for me, it's just the little details I think we could have been better at today, both in and out of possession.
Coach, as you go on the road, what will that message be to your team as far as making those corrections, making those adjustments, knowing there isn't that much time until that next match?
Yeah, and I think that's all our jobs as the coaching staff is to be, how do we turn this around? What are we gaining from it? What can we gain quickly from it? What is digestible? What can be processed in a quick fashion to make sure that those little details we continue to be better at?
That's a team that's won the league.
Yes, of course.
I don't think they've lost since April 20th.
You guys had a little bit of a run, but does this kind of show you how big that gap can still be between what you're trying to be and a team like that who's won it all?
And look, they're a good side, and they played very well today, right? And obviously, I think for us, continuing to know and believe that we are very capable of being a very good team in this league is important for us, even when we're walking away with games without the result that we want, nor necessarily the performance that we want, but still believing that we are capable of very good things and we are capable of being 100% a playoff team in this league.
Do you think you guys were flat or disconnected at all today at any point?
No, I just think it was the little pieces. It was the little details. And once that becomes like a trickle effect, it's tough.
Do you think injuries are hampering the ability of being able to connect with, like, say, the front line on the team and the passing accuracy?
Yeah, and I think it's football, and in the sports industry in general, you can never predict when things present themselves, right? And then our due diligence on our end to make sure that we are doing everything that we possibly can to create an environment that people are obviously thriving in the sense of physically, and we're doing it to the best of our ability. But you can never predict when somebody gets an injury, and I think it creates an opportunity for the depth in the group to continue to push themselves and get learning experiences and gain opportunities that I know will flourish later on in season and continue to flourish throughout the season.
I think Jay said this could be like kind of a gut check moment for you guys. Is that how you try to frame it as a coach moving forward? Like, hey, watch that. Let's see what we made of it.
Yeah, and I think you have to have the transparency and the identity to go, what can we be better at? You have to target those pieces too. You have to discuss those pieces. We have to, as a group, confront what those pieces are that we still feel like we could be better at. But at the same time, with this type of turnaround, with these many games in the next few days, it's really important that, to her reference, it's also a gut check, but how can we continue to move forward? Because there are still things we're doing really well. There is. So it's also highlighting those, but showing why we haven't been good enough in this area.
What has Racing been doing really well in this game?
Yeah, and I think we've continued to push the structures. We've continued to push the structures early. I'm not going to dive into style of play, but my point is we've continued to get the idea of if we get our structure early, you need the ball, you need good possession to be able to get into those structures early. And if we get into those structures early, we believe we have players in pockets, we believe we have relationships, we have triangles to be able to play this way. And so for us, it's going to be continuing to push that.
Is Jalen progressing the way you want her to?
Yes, I mean, we've been taking it day by day in reference to her injury, and I think that's all we can do is continue to take it step by step.
Anything else for Bev?
Good.
All right,
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
This computer just almost melted in the